What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So by the title, you guys can already guess that I will be spilling the tea on how me and my husband travel on a budget because money matters. Okay, so without further ado, let's just hop straight into the video. Tip number one that I have, and a lot of these tips kind of intermingle with each other, so it's not really any particular order to these. So my first tip would be to figure out what is a realistic amount to save and what you can sacrifice to save. So you need to look at your daily spending, monthly spending, weekly spending, and figure out what are unnecessary things that you're spending money on that you could probably cut back on. You don't have to cut back completely, but cutting back some will help you save more money faster to go on your trip. Now, if you don't want to cut back on anything, that I guess is fine, but it might take you a little bit more time to save your money to go to where you want to go to. So if you are eating out a lot, which, hello, my name is Jillian and I'm a serial outer, out to eater. I don't know, you know what I mean. Hello, that is me. That's something you can cut back on. Going to bars, brunch, shopping, like little things like that, that after you pay your bills and you're pretty comfortable that you just spend money on frivolously, that you could cut back on those things so that you can save money faster. So you can get to a place that you want to go to and you can have money to do those things there. You could go to a bar, shopping, brunch in Greece. Sounds cute. Tip number two would be to really plan out your trip. Plan out the location, plan out what you want to do there, plan out the documents that you need to get there. So the location, you can have a list of locations to go to and figure out which one would be better for you at that time, which one would be easier for you to save to go to at that time. Research the documents you need to go out of the country. You need a passport. Some countries you need a little bit extra documentation, like a travel visa. Brazil is one of those countries. Also planning out what you want to do. So you can go on Instagram, you can Google, you could talk to other friends. You can look on YouTube and research the place that you want to go to and see a whole list of things that you can do there that you might want to do. Also, researching those things will also give you a better idea of how much you really need to save, because you don't need to just save to get there. You need to save for money to do the things you want to do there and to survive while you're there, like eat. You need money for that too. And then usually what naturally happens for me and my husband when we're planning what to do there, we just naturally fall into actually planning out what days we're going to do certain things. And then also planning out what you're going to do there will also help you plan out what you're going to pack. Research the weather for the time frame you want to go to. If it's mainly rainy during those months, hurricane season, if you're going to be going to more Caribbean locations, everything like that, so that you can really decide the proper dates to go to these places. Plan out the whole trip, top to bottom. Plan it out. Tip number three would be researching flights. So we have several apps that we use to book flights and to help us save as much money as possible on tickets to get to where we need to go. And when I say we, I mean my husband, because He is the travel agent of the group. But for him, what he likes to do is he likes to get on an app called Skiplag. You can purchase tickets on Skiplag. We don't, so I can't really tell you how that experience is. We mainly like to use Skiplag to help us decide what is a good time to travel to a location for the cheapest amount of money possible. So naturally, we'll come up with dates that we would love to travel. Usually, we go on a trip for 10 days. So we'll pick out a 10-day time frame that we think in our head would be a best time for us to travel. But on Skiplag, you can pick out the days that you're thinking about going, and there's a chart at the bottom that you can scroll on, and it'll tell you how the price fluctuates depending on what days you go to what location. So we might in our head say we want to go on a certain week, but when we get on Skiplag, it says if we go a week later, we'll save $500. We're going to go a week later because who doesn't want to save $500? But to actually book our flights, my husband will use Expedia, Orbitz, or Kayak. Another cool thing with Orbitz is if you use the app a lot and you book things on it, you'll get points to go towards things like hotels. So you can go to a destination and go to a nicer hotel, but with your points that you racked up, the price of that hotel for you will now be way cheaper. So now you're staying in a nicer hotel for a way better price. Or you could choose a hotel and end up staying there for free. Also, another thing to take into account when you're booking your flight is the policies for your baggage. So a lot of flights will allow you to have a free carry-on bag and a personal bag. So 2 bags that could fit under the seat on the plane or in the overhead compartment above your head on the plane. And usually those are free. So I know, especially for ladies traveling to places, specifically tropical places, a lot of our stuff gets really small. So you could probably get away with using a carry-on for your whole trip and packing only travel size items. And if you need something bigger, buying that while you're there. And that'll save you from spending, I think it's $25 to $50 to check a bag. If they allow you to bring a carry-on for free. So that's a hack. But if you have to check a bag, like if you're going somewhere a little more cold, you have to bring both your items to keep warm. Or for us ladies, our makeup or our hair products, things like that, you might need to check a bag because the things that you're bringing, it might be more of a hassle to only bring travel size things. So just research the bag policy to figure out if that's somewhere that you can save money as well. My 4th tip would be to research where you're going to stay. So you have options between hotels, and we really like Airbnbs. But depending on where you go, the Airbnb might be cheaper or the Airbnb might be more expensive, but it gives you a little bit more options to choose from. And you could get a really dope place to stay for a good price, just by expanding your search like that. If you're traveling to a location that has a beach, maybe you want to be more beachside, or maybe you don't really care for the beach, maybe you want to be more in the city, or maybe a lot of the things that you have on your itinerary to do are in one set location, so it would make the most sense for you to stay close to those things so you don't have to spend a lot of your vacation traveling back and forth. Also take into consideration how far the airport is to where you're going to stay. Uber, the transportation to get there, that's another thing that you have to take into consideration when saving the cost of transportation. So picking out where you're going to stay is very important as well. 5th tip in this video for me is I think it's very important for you to research the rules, the culture, the customs, that kind of thing in that country, because you do not want to offend people while you're there. You don't want to end up in jail while you're there. That's not cute. Some destinations are more conservative than others, like Dubai. PDA is frowned upon. Women in certain places need to be covered. Alcohol is a no-no. Like things like that. You're going to have a good time. You're not going on vacation to get into any trouble or to put yourself in an unsafe situation. Another thing you want to research is the language. This will help you figure out if you're going to have some challenges while you're there. My husband, fortunately, understands a lot of Spanish and speaks Spanish to a certain degree. So going to Spanish speaking countries is more of a comfort zone for us. Um, but going to places like we've been to Paris or Dubai or Brazil, even though Portuguese is similar to Spanish, like going to places like that, it might be a little bit more challenging communicating. So it might be useful and helpful for you to plan ahead for stuff like that. Maybe practicing a couple useful phrases that you know you're going to use a lot to help you get from A to B, to help you just communicate, like, or order food, like things like that. One bonus tip that me and my husband do a lot is when we fly to other countries, if we can get a layover in a whole nother country, a long layover in a whole nother country that we've never been, we'll do that and at least have a good 8 hours to 24 hours layover. So then it's like getting two trips for the price of one. And we'll go out, explore that country for the little bit of time that we're there, and come back to the airport and go to our real destination. And most of the time, the places we go on a layover are places that we're not really in a rush to go to at the time, or they're smaller places, so a lot of the things that we can do can get done in a day. And if we go there and realize that a lot of those things we couldn't get done in one day, then we'll just make the effort to actually come back to that country. So picking a long layover is a hack to see a whole nother country on the way to see the country you were already planning to go to. And that was all of my tips, and plus a little bonus tip for you guys on how we travel. I think later I'll have to come back and update these tips because before it was just me and him traveling and maybe like some other adults, but now we will be traveling with a baby. It's an adventure in itself, traveling with children, I'm sure. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends, and until next time, bye YouTube.